Hi and welcome to another episode of the Sales Mindset TV show. I'm Chris Edwards and I'm here with Steve Knapp.
Yeah, hi Chris, hi everybody.
I think by now they probably know who we are.
Well, hopefully we're getting new people watching.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
If you are new to this,
Yeah.
please, once you finish this, do go back and watch the other videos. You can find them on our Facebook channel and our YouTube channel, or
Yeah.
Steve's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So do go back and have a look. But this week we are talking about using your sales pipeline to prioritize your sales activity.
Yep.
Okay, first of all, let's
Yeah.
start with the question we get asked the most. What is SPANCOP?
What is SPANCOP? Yeah, and don't start thinking anything other than it's good. Okay. Okay. SPANCOP. It's actually the sales process that I use, and have used through 30 years of selling, and I still find it incredibly relevant to today.
Because if I'm right, first of all, you actually designed this for Shell
That's right.
International when you were over in.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
When you were over in China, was it?
No, this is South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah.
So you've designed it for them,
Yeah.
and now you've brought it over so small businesses can utilize the power of
Yeah.
what Shell do.
Yeah, totally right. Because what I find in small businesses is they haven't necessarily taken the steps to break down where they are in the sales process. And it's not because they can't, it's about time and it's about having that structure. So what was applicable for a big company like Shell is equally as applicable for smaller companies. And it's about knowing that there are steps in your sales process. And what that enables you to do is know where you're good and where you need to get better, where you need to invest time and where you don't. And SPANCOP is 7 steps. It starts with suspect, goes to prospect, goes to analyze, goes to negotiate, goes to close, and goes to payment. Now you might not need all of those 7 steps, right? So you can squash some of them together. But I find it helpful in my business and in my sales experience to at least have identification on each of those steps.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they can get access to SPANCOP as well through one of your groups, can't they, as well?
They can, yeah. The sales growth club,
Sales Growth Club.
and even on the website.
Okay, so if you do want to get hold of SPANCOP and understand more about it, do jump onto the website or do join up to the Sales Growth Club.
Yeah.
And there's some more information there. So if you understand SPANCOP, give us a thumbs up. Otherwise, head over to.
And if
to
you
the
see
website.
it, if you see it as something different still, maybe give us one of those angry faces.
Right, so let's go on to prioritizing your sales activity.
Yeah.
Because we want to focus on the top 5 and the big 5,
Yeah.
if we're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to explain what that is. So one of the things in a seller's day and in your day is that everything's as important as everything else. And in a sales sense and looking into your sales strategy, that's probably not the best way to drive growth.
Yeah.
Because what I encourage you to do within your sales pipeline is to actually think about categorizing your real prospects in 2 camps. And I put them in 2 camps where you identify 5 of each, because anything more than that becomes difficult to focus on. But I call them the top 5 and I call them the big 5. And that's my Africa thing, right? The big 5. The top 5 was the things that are going to happen this week. So what are those opportunities in your pipeline that you need to do something with to help them decide to buy from you?
Okay.
So not stuff that's looking into the future, but the stuff that you need to action this week that will move 5 opportunities forward, ideally to a close, but at least through your pipeline. The big 5 are those ones that will take a little bit longer. They are likely to be a bit bigger normally, probably a bit more valuable, maybe even, if we dare use the word, a bit more strategic, but actually the ones that you have to invest your time on, but they're not going to drop this week. So it's almost about clearing in your mind, that your mindset is there, that you've got things that you're going to push over the line, and things you're going to nurture along.
So top 5 and big 5.
Yeah.
Now this is really the first week in which we've started talking about a sales pipeline.
Yeah.
So there's probably a lot of people out there who are a little bit confused even what this may be.
Yeah.
We have got visuals out on the Facebook page and the Instagram page in which they can see. But how will people know the difference between what's going to be a top 5 and a big 5?
Yeah.
How would they prioritise that within their pipeline?
Well, so I mean, it's a good question, and I guess a lot of mine has come through just experience, but actually putting a process behind it. I always like to look at what's in my sales pipeline in detail, right? So we've spoken a little bit about the value, or we will be talking a little bit about the value of pre-call planning, and a little bit about the value of post-call, documenting post-call. And what that starts to bring you is that starts to bring you intelligence around opportunities. And you know, if you are then using that information by each of the opportunities you have in your sales pipeline, you know, I just simply tag them with a colour. I have a red for top 5 and I have a blue for big 5. And it just tells me that these are the ones that I'm going to focus in on, and it just visually helps me identify what I'm going to do and go after.
I know in the group we've got quite a few business coaches and sales development people. So what do you do in terms of your pipeline? You know, as Steve mentioned, he colours. So have you got a different approach to it? Let us know. It'd be good to know what other people do. Because, you know, I'm guessing not one size fits all.
No, it doesn't. And people might be watching this now thinking, God, top 5, big 5, I don't have strategy. I'm just all about selling now. Then fine. You know, get rid of the big 5, stay with top 10. But you can't have a top 100.
Because I suppose that comes down to something that people really must consider as well, and that's like feast and famine, isn't it?
Well, that's the point, right? And that's why I see it as a very, very significant part in a sales business. That you know, we have all had times where, you know, because we've worked hard, because our plan is right, because we're out networking, we're that leading voice, all of those things we've spoken about, that weeks go well, months go well. And actually one of the things that this drives, this distinction between the two, is a discipline that actually says what's coming in the future will eventually be my top 5.
Yeah.
So it helps you build in a cadence to your sales activity, that you're not sat there after a month of having a wonderful time saying, well, this is just a fallow month for me. This is just a month where I had a good one last month. Because the idea behind pipeline management is to sort of iron out those peaks and troughs as best you can by ensuring that your sales activity matches the health of your sales pipeline.
So this pipeline that they need to do, do they just draw it, or is it best to use a CRM system? Or?
Well, a CRM system is magic. Right,
Yeah.
First prize for a CRM system, because you can keep all of your customer information in it.
Yeah.
You know, and today you can get lots of free trials, right? So you can do that. But one of the values in them is you can keep all your customer records. You can keep documented history, your quotes. You know, they are really good. But you don't need to have one. Because this is back in the day, and anybody that's from Shell that may be watching this, you might remember, we started SPANCOP on an Excel spreadsheet, right? It's as effective as long as your rigor and discipline is there. CRM is prize 1, but don't let that be a reason for you not to have a sales pipeline. You know, I shot a training video this morning, and I drew it on my whiteboard. Right, it doesn't have to be a technology-led solution.
So what we've just learned is that Shell, one of the biggest companies in the world, uses Excel.
Used.
Okay.
Used. Now it uses Salesforce.com, I think. But yeah, used. But the point is, don't let technology get in the way.
Yeah. And I think we use HubSpot for our CRM system because that's free, the basic, and there's a lot more out there, isn't there? So many.
Yeah, Zoho does it, to name another, but many.
So, you know, if you've got one in particular that works for you, particularly when it comes to helping with your pipeline, do let us know what it is. Let other people know what you use so, you know, they can look at those too, particularly if it's free, because obviously there's a lot of small businesses watching this that want to get access to free software.
Yeah.
So, next week, we're going to be moving on to using pre-call planning to deliver sales outcomes.
Yeah. Something maybe many small business people prepare in their head.
Yeah.
I'll show you the value of...
I think we talked about this sometime last year, haven't we? It's been a while since we actually talked about pre-call planning.
It is, yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to go back to that.
That's true. Yes, we
Yeah,
did.
if you can remember us talking about it. So so if you want to learn more about pre-call planning to deliver sales outcomes, and we're going to cover gatekeepers again.
Yeah, we will.
And how to get past those dreaded gatekeepers. Do tune in next week.
Yeah.
If you've liked what you heard today, do give us a thumbs up or hearts. If you haven't, even let us know. We do like to know how to improve these videos. You can catch us on Facebook, catch Steve on LinkedIn, and you can catch us on YouTube and Twitter and even Instagram. Look forward to seeing you all next week. Thank you very much.
See you. Bye.